let's talk a little bit about how we're going to support our cabinetry or our built-in project. Now, our built-in project had a modular toe kick assembly or modular support, all right? But there's a few other methods that you can use to support your cabinetry. This method here, where it's integral, the support of the cabinet is integral into the side of the cabinet, has been around for decades, and it's still used commonly today. The only drawbacks that I find to this method are, one, that it uses a little bit more material here. On a standard base cabinet, your cabinet side would be 34.5 inches tall, and I can only get 2 units of that out of a 96-inch sheet of plywood. So I get a little less yield from my plywood using an integral base. The other option, or the other concern that I have with an integral base is when you have a cabinet that goes from the floor to the ceiling, like our built-in cabinet, there's no way that I can stand that cabinet up in the house because I can't remove this base. So that might be a design consideration that you'll need to insert into your project. Here's a few other options. In European cabinetry, these leveling units have become very popular. And the way that these work, there are 2 components. One mounts onto the base of the cabinet and is just screwed into place. Then the leg assembly is inserted, and we adjust the height of our cabinet by rotating this, raising or lowering the cabinet. These are really popular in Europe, and they're definitely making headway in the States. And there's a few different variations of these. This method works similarly. It attaches to the bottom of the cabinet. The leg mounts into the base, but what's really cool about this system is I can actually adjust the back leveler from out in front of the cabinet, making leveling and plumbing that cabinet really easy. In order to conceal these Euro leg levelers, we mount a clip onto the back of our toe kick and just clip it right in place, concealing everything. Another feature you can incorporate into your built-in project is lighting. Now, lighting's always changing, and there's a lot of different things to consider there, but here's one of the most common systems that I see coming through our shop, and it's really simple to install. This system is literally a peel and stick LED lighting system. You just pull off the spool exactly how much you want, and just clip off in 2-inch segments. There's also several different color temperature lights that we can choose from. So whether you want more of a daylight or more of a softer or warmer light. And there's a few different types of diffusers that are going to help to diffuse the light coming from the LEDs in these strips. So if we're going to mount these lights to the back of a face frame to cast light down onto a countertop, we simply peel and stick the back of this and mount it right to the back of the face frame. Right? If we're going to mount inside of a cabinet, then we'd use one of these extrusions. And these extrusions in this case would be routed into a groove in the cabinet. Then we'd peel and stick our lighting in there and just connect it with this type of connector here, cinching down on these 2 screws to make our connection. If we wanted to cast light back into the cabinet, we could use this type of extrusion, which mounts the light at about a 45-degree angle to cast everything backwards. It works the exact same way, peel and stick, and then put your diffuser over it in order to break up the hot spots from the light. Once you have your lighting connected to the wiring just plugs right into a mounting block, and the mounting block plugs into your switches. And there's several different switches to choose from. They just plug right in. There's a dimmer switch, simple on and off switch. There's a remote switch. There's even proximity sensors that will allow the lighting in the cabinetry to turn on as you walk into the room. The entire system is literally plug and play. It's really simple and straightforward. Even I can figure it out. Anytime you've got a cabinet with an exposed end of run, you have to do something to dress it up. And whether it's a smooth slab, an applied door, or a door set into a face frame, you need to connect that panel to your face frame. And my joinery of choice for this is a domino. On my finished panel, I've laid out a series of marks about every 6 to 8 inches. I line up the indicator on the top of the domino with the layout mark, and I plunge slowly. It's real important that I go slow because the domino is more like a router. Half the time it's doing a conventional cut, half the time it's doing a climb cut. Make sure I don't get a lot of pushback while I'm doing that climb cut. This is going to ensure a tighter mortise. I have matching layout lines on the style of my cabinet. Now I'll just use my domino to cut the corresponding mortises. My dominoes are just little floating tenons. They slip right into the mortises. Then the entire panel fits right into the side of the cabinet. Now it's ready for installation.